There are killers who want attention. And then there are killers who just keep going. For nearly 40 years, women disappeared across the United States, different cities, different decades, and no one connected the dots. This is Hold My Sweet Tea. Hey everybody, I'm Holly.
And I'm Pearl. And it's sprinkling.
It is, and it's thundering a little bit, and we have some ambiance this morning.
Yeah. So if you hear it, oops.
That's okay. It just adds to the aesthetic.
Right. What's a true crime podcast without rain?
Exactly. All of the nature soundtrack.
Right. It's got to be better than the leaf blower.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know.
The day we kept having to stop and go.
Yeah, just so I could cut it.
Can you go away?
Right. Quit getting so close to this,
right.
to this room.
But yeah,
now.
It's been winter and warm, and today it's storming, and tomorrow it's going to be frigid.
Finally, again. It's been like a couple weeks. It's been like since Christmas.
Welcome to the South. This is our weather.
It's stupid.
Right.
It doesn't know what it wants to do.
Not at all. But, we're going to fill your ears with some knowledge here.
And you just said, like last on my episode, that we were going to go all over the United States.
We are.
So we're going to hit a lot of weather.
All over the place with this one. It does end in Kentucky.
Okay.
Starts in Georgia.
Oh, so starts and ends over here.
But, he was everywhere.
Okay.
Even New Orleans. But I'm not going to touch on all of them because there's 93.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. 93.
So if you think about the FBI and they said, this is the most, and this is straight from the FBI, the most prolific serial killer in United States history. What pops in your head?
All the popular ones. Because they say it all the time.
Exactly.
Everybody's the most prolific.
Right. And you're like, oh, well, maybe it was this one. Maybe it was that one. No, it's someone you probably haven't heard of. His name is Samuel Little.
Yep. Nope. Can't say I have.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Not ringing any bells.
Nope. So we're gonna kind of set the scene with. I wanted to play some audio clip, but there were so many of them, I couldn't pinpoint one down. So I'm just gonna read this part, and once he was arrested and things progressed, they started just talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting across from him, no handcuffs, no raised voices, no interrogation. Just a casual conversation.
Yeah.
And he started telling things.
They made him comfortable.
Yeah. He would say, I remember her smile. Not a smile. Her smile. And that's when you realize it wasn't about the people he killed. It was about how long he carried them with him.
Mm.
He never let it go. So it was like he would think back to it and he would relive it in his mind.
So basically his brain kind of works like mine.
Yeah.
If I forget something, I will literally sit there and close my eyes and go, okay, I did this and this and this. And then I can start, it plays like a movie in my head.
Yeah.
And then I'll remember exactly what something looked like, exactly what it smelled like, exactly what I heard during that moment.
Pretty much.
So weird.
pretty
I'm
much.
weird. Sorry, guys.
No, you could be a serial killer. It's fine.
I am a Cancer.
But, today's episode's a little different from the regular serial killers you hear of. It isn't one crime scene. It isn't one city. It isn't one decade. It spreads out quietly over decades. And the longer you sit with it, the heavier it gets. Like, it's crazy when I tell you some of the stuff. So let's start in the beginning. Samuel Little. He was born in 1940 in Reynolds, Georgia. His mother was still a teenager.
Mm.
She was also a sex worker.
Mm-hmm.
She, didn't want to give up that life, but she also didn't want this baby. So she, early on, she abandoned him. He went around for a few family members here and there. And then eventually his grandmother took him and raised him in Ohio. No consistent care like in his early years, though. But then you're thinking like, oh, here we go, another mommy issue, like type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think trauma doesn't really create a serial killer. I think it's the conditions where the violence takes root. Because you have a lot of people that have been traumatized in their childhood, but they're not out here
killing people. Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the situation, because I mean they pop that in there with every serial killer. Oh, mommy issues. This thing happened.
His dad this.
Yeah,
his
he was
mom
created
that,
to be a serial killer, but I think, he struggled in school. He dropped out early, and by his late teens, like violence had already rooted in his story and his growing up.
I'm sure
and
a lot of like survival on his part.
Right.
Because he wasn't really being taught.
Yeah.
He's not being properly raised.
Right. So he was just doing his own thing.
He's just being kind of passed around.
And by the time he, hit adulthood, still, pretty much a child, but hit adulthood, he started drifting from city to city, state to state, because mobility makes patterns disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just drifting from here to here, they're not connecting.
Yeah,
things.
Especially like back in the day.
Right.
When there wasn't like
all
any
the technology
stuff.
and,
Yeah. Like there was no sharing of any of this stuff.
Not at all.
Which made it so much easier to do something wrong one place.
Right.
And move somewhere else and do it again, and nobody know the wiser.
Right. And this is pretty much how he lived his life. So by the 1960s and 70s, Samuel Little had already been arrested multiple times. And not for minor things like violent assaults, battery, rape. Over 25 arrests. Not for minor stuff.
And he's still free.
25. Like, let that sink in.
And he's still free.
Right.
Crazy.
But charges were dropped. Sentences were short. Victims weren't believed because back then a woman was asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was her fault.
Right.
She did it.
Sometimes they still say
Oh, and
that.
it still says, yeah, they still say that. But like back then, they just dismissed it. It wasn't a felony charge.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they had so many chances to interrupt the stuff that was coming, and it just didn't happen. So, Samuel Little primarily targeted women already living on the margins, sex workers. But you can see that's where the mommy thing comes in, because he was mad. Women struggling with addiction, women without stable housing. So he preyed on those.
Mm-hmm. The easy targets,
right.
Basically, because they're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
They're easy to manipulate.
And like one of the victims was Mary Brosley. She was killed in Los Angeles in 1985. Another, Carol Alford, found dead in Houston. And many were discovered years later, but were never identified. They were just Jane Doe's because they really couldn't figure out who did it. And DNA wasn't
a thing.
And their deaths were just kind of dismissed as, oh, it was an overdose. It was an accident, unknown cause.
I mean, she's a sex worker. It's not worth it to even check.
And they weren't in the headlines because they weren't. It's like, oh, they don't matter. They're lesser of a person.
Right.
But they have people that care about them. They have lives. They have
and back
routines that they do. Yeah.
Unless their families were pushing it.
Yeah.
There was like really nothing done.
And a lot of times nobody was
Nobody even knew.
Right.
Like they've been missing.
So things took a turn. In 2012, Samuel Little was arrested in Kentucky on a drug charge. He had been arrested on drug charges before. He was released before, 25 damn times.
Yeah.
Just a routine.
At least.
Whatever. Here's another drug charge, whatever. But this time, in 2012, the state of Kentucky started taking DNA from for people that were processed in.
Right. You're like, dun, dun, dun.
This DNA links him to 3 unsolved murders in Los Angeles from the 1980s.
Just Los Angeles.
Just Los Angeles.
Okay.
Just because they ran it through a database, those were pinged and hit. 3 women, all 3 were cold cases. They had no evidence, nothing. They had collected DNA, but nothing.
That they held on to, obviously.
Right. And suddenly, like, all of these decades of him doing stuff just started collapsing.
It's like dominoes.
Right. It just started falling. So in 2014, Samuel Little was sentenced to life without parole, 3 counts, consecutive counts of murder.
So he gets 3 charges in a row.
So most people would think, okay, that's the end. They're not going to do anything, whatever.
When you say that's the end,
yeah,
I get Janet Jackson in my
head.
Right.
That's the end. But after his conviction, the FBI's VICAP program steps in. And one man becomes like central to his story. And this kind of reminds me of Mindhunter,
Okay.
A little bit. Because they just kind of go in and have conversations. And
they're like, why'd you do it? Trying to understand.
Right.
What makes a killer.
Yes. And, this man, his name is James Holland. He's a Texas Ranger. He went in and had
Texas
Ranger. He went in and had some conversations with Samuel Little. He figured out how to talk to him. No pressure, no threats. He appealed to Samuel Little's ego. And I say that because Samuel Little was a Gemini.
Oh.
And we all know some Geminis and their egos.
Well, and I'm going to say anyway.
No hate to Geminis.
I feel like there's so many tight-lipped serial killers. Yeah. But if you find a way to connect.
Right. You find that little
You
point.
find that way to just get them to let you in.
Yeah.
And the floodgates open. Because they want to tell you. Oh, they want to tell someone.
And
just maybe not you. But they want to tell someone.
They want their story to be heard. And James Holland also would get letters from Samuel Little. He would write him letters and write things down that he would remember and to his house.
Oh, geez.
He was sending him letters. So he was like, I need to get out as much as I can from him. So, like I said, and no hate to Geminis. I was almost one, but I missed it by 2 days.
Bullet dodged.
He had a desire to be heard, though. So they offered him something small but meaningful. They told him they would transfer him closer to medical care because he had some issues and things like that. In exchange, he talked. over 650 hours worth of interviews.
Ooh-wee.
And I'm going to link the FBI's files on him to this episode. There is video after video after video of him. And when you listen to some of them, it's insane because he talks very matter-of-factly.
Like lack of emotion?
Yeah, kind of. But his confessions like stretched across 19 different states.
Oof.
In a span of 4 decades. 93 confessions. And you're thinking, you're killing people. How do you keep up with that many people?
Yeah.
But like you said, you go into this place where you can see that. He had that. He also liked to draw. So they gave him some paper, some colored pencils and things like that. He drew pictures of his victims from memory. Their faces, their hair, their expressions, earrings, little details about them. And when they started combing through these databases of Jane Doe's, and it's not like...
And like comparing.
Right.
They're going, oh
you're
my gosh.
You're looking at this woman and you're looking at this drawing going, holy crap.
Yeah, this is
how does he remember this?
Yeah, like it's exact.
Like he took a photograph of that in his mind at the moment. Like this is not a dumb man. He's very smart. But those drawings helped identify a lot of women that had been nameless for like decades. And it's not like he was out there going, oh, well, I did this, this, and this. He knew little details so they could go back and confirm.
Which I feel like is what causes so much frustration when they're interviewing other ones because they're like, come on, you remember.
Right. And they're like, no, I don't remember anything. This man literally remembered 93 in detail. So the FBI has confirmed at least 50 of those murders, making Samuel Little one of the FBI's most prolific serial killers in U.S. history. Not because he was brilliant, which he was, because he wasn't challenged, because his victims weren't protected. And that realization is like the real horror. So they worked with him. They did lots and lots of interviews, like I said. And in 2020, in December 30th of 2020, Samuel Little died in prison. His official cause of death, I don't think they released it, but I think it was just due to, he was 80 years old.
Oh, gosh,
and he had some issues. And like prior to his terms in state prison, like I said, he had been arrested all these times. He never opened up. He never said anything to anybody, even when somebody tried to talk to him, because they went about it the wrong way.
Right.
But there's still victims without names. There's families without answers. There's stories that are still unfinished in his case. There's a lot. And I didn't want to go digging because I didn't want this to be a super long episode. But again, I'll go through and link a bunch of the names and a bunch of the videos. So you know, if you're interested in this case and you want to know more about him, you can go in and listen. So what I want to like put out there, do you think because of his situation and how he lived, do you think that made him invisible?
Maybe so.
Right.
Did it make him less suspicious somehow?
Or were
he was
the
arrested.
Victims he chose made him invisible?
Yeah, I think maybe it's a combo.
I think so too.
Because I mean, like we said, they weren't important when they died. Cops were just like, meh.
Right. And a lot of these women he would pick up in a bar here and there, and they were just like, oh, and they would see he drove a Lincoln, and they were like, oh, you have a nice car. Look at that Lincoln. And they take a ride with him. So he was 6'2", 6'3", something like that. He was a big man, like solid big man. He had large hands. And I told you, he kind of reminded me of John Coffey from The Green Mile a little bit. And
maybe just not as simple and sweet.
Right. He was smart and, cunning.
Mm-hmm.
But most of his victims, he drowned one. He said there was only one that he drowned, and that was here in Louisiana. It was actually, he picked her up in a bar in New Orleans, and they drove through Slidell, and he drowned her. He left her upper body in the bayou and her legs sticking out on the bank. But she was still submerged. Yeah. He laid her in there. But he held her under and drowned her. But his mode of killing, it didn't leave marks. He wasn't beating, he wasn't stabbing, he wasn't doing anything. I think because he preyed mostly on smaller women, like petite women, smaller women. He would strangle them. And because his hands were so big, he would put his hands around their throat, not really crushing their throat, but just cutting off their wind. And he would tell them to swallow because he liked to feel the way their muscles contracted and how their trachea and stuff moved while he was squeezing their neck.
Oh, wow.
So
weird.
he had this whole, and he would notice about these women. He always said he had this fascination with their necks. When he was in school, his teacher had a nice neck, and he said that it would sexually arouse him in class because of her neck. And I'm like, he didn't have a foot fetish, he had a neck fetish. He had a neck fetish. So he would strangle these women, but he loved the feel of it. He loved the struggle and then the way their necks would contract, and he would just hold it until they just passed out and died. There is one woman that did get away from him. Her story is also out there, and I'll link her as well. But
what? Did no one believe her? Was she not able to describe him? What the heck?
It was after the fact. So it was once she saw the story that had come out. She realized that is him because she reported it, but they never found this man, so they never knew who he was.
Gotcha.
Because, again, he drifted to another state. But she did get away. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one survivor.
Yep. So if you've ever heard of Samuel Little, or, let us know. And like I said, do you think he was invisible, or was it the victims that were invisible? Or a combo of both?
Well, I can tell you who isn't invisible.
Who's that?
Patty Salzetta.
Absolutely not invisible.
She is out there.
She's out there living life. Living La Vida Loca.
And made our theme music.
Absolutely. And we love her for it.
Yeah. And you can send us emails answering Holly's questions.
Yes. Homework assignment again.
Right. holdmysweeteapodcast@gmail.com. And you can also message us on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yep.
We're still sitting at that 101 subscribers.
I know. It's so exciting, though.
But I'm glad to be over 100. Yes. So, yay.
Yay, yay. So if you're thinking about it and you're like, you know what? They made it to 100. Let's make that 200. Just go do it.
Yeah. You could be your own goal maker.
Absolutely.
Help us out.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's anything that you want to hear, or if you have any stories of your own that are not even true crime, creepy, whatever, or you want us to research and you want us to put out there, let us know.
You want to come hang out and be on the podcast?
Absolutely.
We'll let you. If you got something cool, be like, come on.
Let's do it.
So, all those options.
Yep. And
balls in your court.
The balls on the wall.
Or the window.
Or the window. To the wall. And as always, hold my Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
You guys remember to stay safe out there. Don't get into anybody's Lincoln Town car. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping. Bye.
Bye.